Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learn English with Profi Jaime. Today's story is the first of 7 stories where we'll explore important life lessons about how to make your money work for you through passive income. As you listen, you'll also learn some new words and how to form sentences using them, making English learning both fun and practical. So let's get started and stay with us till the end. Pay your future self first. Life in the small town of Oakhaven moved at a leisurely pace for young Elias. A hardworking mechanic at the local garage, each paycheck seemed to vanish as quickly as it arrived. He dreamt of owning his own garage, of building a comfortable life for himself and his family, but it felt like a distant dream. One day, Elias first met Mr. Henderson at the town's annual summer picnic. He was captivated by the old man, who, despite his age, seemed to possess an aura of quiet strength and wisdom. Mr. Henderson, with his twinkling eyes and a mischievous glint in his smile, was the life of the party, regaling the younger generation with tales of his travels and adventures. Elias, drawn to the old man's charisma, found himself drawn into a conversation. "You work hard, young man," Mr. Henderson observed, noticed Elias' calloused hands. "You have a good work ethic, but he added with a knowing smile, hard work alone isn't enough." Intrigued, Elias asked, "What else is needed, sir?" Mr. Henderson leaned in, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "You need to learn to invest in your future self." Elias, puzzled, asked, "How do I do that?" Mr. Henderson chuckled. "Ah, that's the key, isn't it? It's about prioritizing. Most people spend their money first and worry about the future later. But I believe in a different approach. Pay your future self first." Elias tilted his head, intrigued. "Pay my future self first?" "Exactly," Mr. Henderson explained. "Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Do you want to be in the same position you are today? Or do you want more? A better home? The freedom to travel? The ability to help your family?" Elias nodded. "Of course, I want more." "Then start building that future today," Mr. Henderson encouraged. "Before you spend a single dollar on anything else, a new video game, a night out with friends, set aside a portion of your earnings. Let's say 10%. Think of it as an investment in the person you want to become 5 years from now." Elias was hesitant. 10% seems like a lot. "It will feel like a sacrifice at first," Mr. Henderson acknowledged. "But think of it as an investment in your dreams. You're not spending it today. You're investing in the life you want to build. Trust me, young man, it will be worth it." To illustrate his point, Mr. Henderson shared a story from his own past. "When I was your age," Mr. Henderson began, "I worked long hours as a carpenter alongside my older brother Marco. We were both eager to make a good living. Marco, ever the pragmatist, was always preaching the importance of saving. Pay your future self first. He'd say, don't spend it all today. I, on the other hand, was young and impulsive. Every paycheck, I'd rush out to buy the latest tools, go out with my friends, or indulge in whatever whims struck me. Marco, meanwhile, would diligently set aside a portion of his earnings. No matter how much I teased him about being a miser. 'You'll never get anywhere saving all your money,' I'd scoff. 'You need to enjoy life a little.' Marco would just smile and say, 'I am enjoying life. I'm investing in my future.' At first I scoffed. Marco seemed to be missing out on all the fun. But as the years passed, I started to notice a difference. Marco bought a small plot of land while I still rented a room. He bought a sturdy workhorse while I walked to work. He even started his own small carpentry business while I was still working for someone else. I began to understand. Marco's sacrifices had paid off. He was building a solid foundation for his future while I was still struggling to make ends meet. It was a humbling realization. I saw firsthand how those small, seemingly insignificant savings had compounded over time, allowing Marco to achieve his goals while I remained stuck in the same place. From that day on, I changed my ways. I started to follow Marco's example, setting aside a portion of my earnings, no matter how tempting it was to spend it all. It was a difficult habit to break, but I remembered Marco's success and the regret I felt for not following his advice sooner. And you know what? Those small sacrifices eventually allowed me to open my own workshop. It was a dream come true, but more importantly, it taught me a valuable lesson: the importance of investing in your future self. Elias was deeply moved by Mr. Henderson's story. He realized that the old man's wisdom was not just abstract theory, but a proven path to success. From that day forward, Elias meticulously followed Mr. Henderson's advice. Every payday, he dutifully separated 10% of his earnings and deposited it into a savings account. It was a challenge at first. The urge to spend every dollar was strong, especially when his friends were out enjoying the latest movies or going out to eat in a restaurant. But Elias remembered Mr. Henderson's words: think of your future self. He imagined himself 5 years from now, owning his own garage, confident and successful. That vision kept him motivated. Slowly but surely, his savings began to grow. With each deposit, Elias felt a sense of accomplishment. He realized that by prioritizing his future self, he was taking control of his financial destiny. He started to explore ways to increase his income, working overtime, and taking on extra jobs. Elias continued to diligently save 10% of his earnings every payday. He would meticulously put aside a small portion of his income, a small act of self-discipline that grew more rewarding with each passing month. He even bought a little notebook to help himself track his progress. Watching the numbers grow steadily, a tangible representation of his growing financial security. The urge to spend every dollar was always present, a constant temptation. His friends would often tease him about his frugality, urging him to live a little. But Elias remembered Mr. Henderson's words: imagine yourself 5 years from now, living comfortably, achieving your dreams. That vision, along with the growing sense of accomplishment from watching his savings grow, kept him motivated. End of part 1. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next part of the story.